Hey YouTube, this is Bill. I've been doing mainly videos dealing with battery operated systems. So let's change course for today. And this is pretty much an AC system. Of course, you can run this on battery, external battery, but you're gonna need some more power than I've been showing in my videos. So what do we got? We got on top QSC K8.2. It's been out for a while. It's a wonderful speaker. All the power you can ask for in this size. On the bottom, we have the Bose Sub2, fairly new unit, just came out about less than a year ago. So this is a mobile rig. I play electronic drums. When I go to a gig, I don't want to bring too much equipment, so I'm trying to keep it light. So this is a mobile rig, and I don't need two tops. I don't need stereo. So I'm looking at one strong top, and I need the bass. For the kick drum, tom-toms, timpani, you need some good low end. So an 8-inch woofer that many column systems have isn't gonna do it. 12-inch would be marginal. 12-inch is pretty good, but this Sub2 is comparable to a 15-inch subwoofer. It's not going to give you what an 18-inch delivers, but this is a very low HZs. It can go down to 37 hertz, and it plays loud. So the Sub2 is very impressive. The K8.2 on top has a super clean high end, so it's excellent for cymbals. It's excellent for rim shots or snare drum sound. So this really, for electronic drummer, really meets my needs. I don't need anything more. Again, I don't need two tops. This system is really mobile. You got your top QSC, which is 27 pounds on top. You got a pole, and you got a subwoofer is 56 pounds. So it's pretty manageable, and it really meets all my needs. In comparison to the column array systems, there's great column array systems out there, of course, the Bose Pro 32, Bose Pro 16, you got your RCF Evox 12, you got a new JBL PRX column array. So they're all great, but when I play live instruments, I do prefer the traditional top, which the QSC is. It just seems like it has more punch for live instruments. It really comes out really kind of, I can't explain it, but it's kind of like in your face compared to a column array. The mid-range is also better in my opinion in this traditional system. Today I'm gonna be running the system without a mixer. Again, in a live situation, I would definitely bring a small mixer. Today I'm just gonna give some sound demos without it though. So I'll be plugging directly into the 1/8 inch jack using a cell phone or a tablet as my source. Going back to AC power, again, on a live gig, I would definitely not depend on battery power, but this system is mobile enough. You can use battery power, but I just want to give a little heads up. The QSC K8.2, it will not run on a low powered battery unit. I run it on a 400 watt unit and it runs it fine. Same thing on the Sub2, you're gonna need some power. So again, my 400 watt expert power has run it. But if I was gonna try to run both pieces together on external power, I would be looking at a 1,000 watt unit. And those kind of get heavy too and expensive. So this is pretty much an AC system. I compared this to some of the latest column array systems. Of course, this system is not Bluetooth capable, but that's easily solved. I have a small Bluetooth module I can add, but again, I don't use Bluetooth in a live situation. Another big difference between this system and a column array that you have to be aware of is this system is a 90-degree throw, so it really has a tight beam of sound. So if you're in front of that beam, it could be very, very loud. With the column arrays, Bose in particular throws 180 degrees in all directions. So what that means is, number one, on the column arrays, a lot of the performers are not using a monitor, which is just one less thing to carry, which is great. But also on the stage volume, when you're next to the column array, I'm thinking of my Bose Pro 32, I can walk by it and I can have my ear one or 2 feet from the column and playing at a good volume, and it won't even hurt my ears. You try this with this system, you walk in front of it at full volume. I hope you're going to be wearing ear protection. So that's a big plus for the column array systems. Talking about power, the QSC K8.2 on top. The specs say 2,000 watts. It's a powerful unit. A lot of people claim QSC doesn't actually put out 2,000 watts, and I'm not a sound engineer. I don't know, but all I know is it's loud. It goes up to 128 dB. The Sub2 on the bottom. Again, the specs say 1,000 watts. Also 128 dB, so these two pair perfectly as far as matching up max volume. Let's talk about some price. The QSC K8.2, $700. And the Sub2 on the bottom is $1,200. So you have a pole in the middle. So the whole unit system is $1,900, and then plus the pole. Anyway, it's very similar priced to the Bose Pro 16, which is $1,800. But this system really performs much differently. Of course, that's up to the user, which one they prefer. But it's very reasonable price, under $2,000 system that has this type of performance. Okay, for a little sound demo, I have a track. It's pretty heavy on bass. The Sub2 is set at only 12 noon. The QSC is a little past 12 noon. And I did a little testing before this sound demo, and there's both top and bottom, nowhere near clipping. My phone, my source that I'm using, is going to be at 95%. So I still have a little more room, but I'm not going to need it. It's going to be pretty loud. That was just incredible. I am wearing my trusty hearing protection. I value my hearing too much to do any of these tests without it. Anyway, 103 dB, wow. And like I said, this system has a lot more in it. I'm just playing at 12 noon on both top and bottom. Even the tablet has room. Let's see what I have it at. Yeah, I was only playing at 86 on the tablet, 87. So this is the live rig I would usually use. So in the front we have my Gibraltar, very comfortable drum throne. And then we have the Roland Hansonic 10. They don't make this anymore. I believe the new unit is called the Hansonic 15. Just for today, I'm using a sound dB meter next to me. I wouldn't normally carry that on a gig, even though it's not a bad idea to watch your hearing level. And then of course, we got the QSC K8.2 and the Sub2 giving us the bottom end. As far as looking at the dB meter when I'm playing electronic drums, I'm trying to get close to acoustic drums. Not necessarily exactly as loud as acoustics, but close. So here I did a little research. Soft drums is 105 dB, medium drums is 115 dB, and a hard hitting player can be as high as 130 dB. That's not me. I don't play like that. Anyway, a bass drum and timpani goes up to 106 dB. Pardon my chicken scratch, but again, here we have the snare drum, which is a loud crack, and that's why I am demonstrating this through the QSC K8.2. It really sounds similar to an acoustic snare. Of course, nothing will sound exactly like the real thing, but a snare can go up to 120 dB. That's an acoustic snare. A rim shot, 125 dB. Crash cymbal, 113. And then if you look at the bottom toms, 110 dB. So I'm gonna do a little sound demo and we'll see how close we can get to some of these numbers. So today I'm gonna be demonstrating the famous 909 kit. I guess it's from the 70s or 80s. I just wanna mention, this is my super mobile electronic rig. I have a large electronic drum set, much more difficult, a lot of wires and pads. And then of course I have acoustic drums also. For the drummers who aren't familiar with the Roland Hansonic line, even though it's been out for many years, it's incredible technology. It has thousands of sounds from bells, bongos, all kinds of drum sounds, and it even goes up to orchestral timpani and all kinds of orchestral sounds. It's really incredible. The pads are great technology too. If you play the pads lightly, it'll play soft, and the harder you hit the pads, the louder it will be. So let's try a little sound demo. I'm going to start out playing lightly. That's a hand control, pretty cool. So the dB meter shows 110, almost 111 dB. Not quite as loud as acoustic drums, but that's because I haven't set up at full volume. The QSC K8.2 is nowhere near full volume. So pretty impressive. For a small rig like this, pick up and go a couple of pieces. So for the drummers out there, highly recommended the Roland line. If you listen closely, you can hear a very slight sound of the QSC fan. So it's fan cooled, keeps it cooled during those long gigs. Here you have your LCD display. Nice bright display. Over here, I have my setup. So on input 3C is my 1/8 inch jack that I was playing my backing tracks or phone, tablet. And it does have a separate volume control. If you've seen my past video about the CPA, that's what was missing. This has the gain control, and there it shows you I was playing those backing tracks at 12 o'clock noon, 0 dB, so I had plenty more room before clipping. Over here at gain B, that's where I have the drum pad plugged in, and it's highlighted high Z. And to me, this is super important. Again, the CPA doesn't have that. And a lot of the other speakers, I believe, don't have it either, like the Yamaha line. I'm not sure if they have high Z. But this really is critical for me, because on the drum pad, without a mixer, the gain is very low. And I actually called up QSC and Guitar Center and everybody else, and it's kind of, people are recommending different things. Some people are recommending some kind of box or something to boost the gain. Of course, a mixer will do it, but with the high Z, I don't need to do that. And look at this setting. I have the high Z channel B. It's not even 12 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. So it just has an incredible amount of power. Here, right here, is my subwoofer out, mix out, XLR. And if you follow that cable to the Sub2, there we go, the Sub2, again, at noon. People might ask me, how would my S1 Pros compare to this system? And the answer is no comparison. Even the CP8 would come very close. But this system is just at a much higher level for live musician. As I'm demonstrating, electronic drums really play low, and they have the high frequencies they have to deal with. The S1 Pros would definitely be clipping all over the place, and you'd really be stressing out that woofer. You'd probably be hearing some pretty nasty sounds, distortion. So this is definitely the way to go. Love this speaker, the K8.2. Endless headroom as far as I'm concerned. And another thing that I mentioned in a past video is the K8.2 is very highly regarded for vocalists, and especially for keyboardists. If you check the Nord forum, they've compared many different tops for electronic keyboard synthesizers, and the K8.2 is highly recommended in its price range. Actually, it's probably the #1 speaker they're recommending for keyboard synthesizers under $2,000. So that's a pretty good recommendation. Okay, to sum it up, this rig is my most powerful mobile rig. Of course, all those videos I do about battery power, that's what I enjoy most, just for casual listening outdoors. But this is my a live setup, a mobile live setup, of course. So the QSC K8.2 is my favorite small speaker. People will say, well, why don't you go with the K8.12 or a 15-inch top? It's just not necessary. This thing has all the power I need, and this has a better dispersion than the larger speakers. You speak like a K8.10, maybe it has maybe it has 70 degree dispersion. This has 90 degrees. The Sub2 we talked about, great low end. I hope you heard that the low end that electronic drums were able to reproduce. Pretty incredible system. So this is my #1 mobile rig, most powerful, but not so mobile. Like I said, that Sub2 is pretty heavy, and I don't use it a lot going out of the home unless I'm playing live. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. My next videos will be something a little more mobile. Like I said, with maybe the K8.2 is still probably my favorite top, but that Sub2, a little too heavy. So I'm going to show you some other alternatives for mobile AC rigs. Okay, see you next time.